Good morning, good morning. It is day 7 of Ride Across the Dolomites. I'm technically in the Italian Alps now, I'm not in the Dolomites anymore, but it's got a nicer ring to it, hasn't it, like Ride Across the Dolomites. Anyway, I have got 170k. I am currently in a place called Idolo, and I'm riding to my final destination, which is Verona. 170k, it's only about 500-600 meters, so it's going to be very flat and partially downhill, so whoop whoop, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Weather is looking very good today as well, so I'm equally happy. And the reason that I came to this town is because it's got a train station directly to Verona, so I was like, if it's raining, I'm getting on that train. But nice blue sky, well, kind of cloudy, blue skies, some sunshine coming, mountains there. Let's go. Oh, are you ready for the view? This is just ridiculous. About 60k in, and most of it has been on like just fast, straight, kind of industrialish kind of roads, and then I've just come around this corner and oh, woo! Look at this for a bike lane. Italy has by far the best bike lanes I've ever ridden on. Look at that. How is this a bike path? Look where I've got to. I'm basically about 130k in. And this is Lake Garda. I actually really want to get in it right now. Feeling good, but my wrist, I've not had any kind of aches or pains on this whole trip. And just today, I think because the majority of it has been kind of like downhill or flat, like no climbing. Like for reference, 130k, I think I've done like 400 meters. I think it's just the pressure from my wrist. I'm just like, oh, keep having to stop to have a little break. But this is a nice little stop. This is a beautiful little point, just have a little break. Whoop, whoop. I'm almost at my hotel, and I've found, well, I've just come past like this little like because I need to get some brown tape to pack my bike up tomorrow. Like, I've not got shoes, do I buy some shoes? They're €5. €5, I'm having them. Okay, which ones do you like? They've got like an actual like little arch in them. And get my shoes. I think because I've been walking in cleats for so long, it's like it's hurting my knee a little bit. That was like, what, €7 or something? I got tape and I got some shoes. I don't know how I'm going to carry them back there. I got my shoes in my pockets and the tape on the 2 kilometres to the hotel now, and this weather, I wish it could have just been like this the whole time. But I'm very grateful that I've had a beautiful weather day today. Not filmed that much just because I felt like it was just kind of like samey roads. There wasn't really nothing really exciting to report, apart from my shoes in my pockets. Hello, it is the day after. I got back from the ride yesterday and was so hot and tired and hungry that I ended up just getting sushi and having an early night. So I thought I'd do like a little wrap up of the trip. And I guess for me it's really hard. I don't know whether you saw the Pyrenees ride across series that I did. It's really hard for me not to compare because they were both 7 days riding. They were similar distance. The Pyrenees was a little bit less elevation, but that trip I had no expectations for, and I loved it. I just did not want to come home. I was just had the best time. There was a couple of bad weather days, but on the whole, like, I loved it. Nothing went wrong. Everything just went to plan, like exactly to plan. It was just perfect. Whereas this trip, not so much. I think what made it worse is that I had expectations of what I thought this was going to be. I thought it was going to be like the Pyrenees, but even better because of the views, and everyone that I'd met and spoken to about the Pyrenees, about the Dolomites, said, you're going to just love it. It's going to be your favourite place on earth. And I did enjoy it. But I think what I found tough this trip is and a lot of things, I guess, have not gone wrong, but not necessarily gone to plan. But yeah, the weather did change quite a lot. And I think the other thing that I found hard was, I guess, partly to do with the weather, and it was the extremes. So like the extreme hot, like 30 degrees plus, and then like freezing cold rain. So it was kind of like I never felt like I could fully kind of settle into it and just get used to it, because my body was constantly either completely freezing and wet through, or it was sweating and baking hot. So it was just kind of, I found that quite tiring. Also as well, during the first night when I was at that lovely bed and breakfast with that woman, she said to me, because she travelled a lot with her husband, she had loads of photos around the house and she was chatting to me about it. She said, do you know when you go travelling, each trip you go away and you come back slightly different? And at the time I was like, yeah. And I feel like that even more now, because I think travelling, especially solo, does do that, because I feel like this trip, it's forced me to be a little bit more adaptable. Like I said in the past, like I've always had a plan, I stick to the plan, I know the plan. Whereas this trip, because of the weather, I've had to kind of change routes, change towns where I'm staying, shorten rides, add like the Celeronda day, add that on to the following day because the weather was going to be better. I think that's been really good for me to do that, because it's made me a better cyclist for it, just to be more, I don't know, open to change and open to look at what the weather is. And actually maybe next time I wouldn't maybe plan anything as set. Maybe I'd have like a rough idea of where I was going, but maybe not like very specific. Because like yesterday I had like, it was like 170k. Normally I'd be like, right, I need to write out all my food stops. And yesterday I was just like, I'll just figure it out. I'll just find what I find. I think that's because I knew I was going through a busy place. If I think it was going to be less busy, I would be very specific. If I was going to do like a really hilly day, I'd want to know. Because it was very flat, just like, nah, it'll be fine. I'll just find what I find. Which is very good for me, because I'm very like, I gotta know the food stops. And it's also taught me try not to have expectations of what somewhere's going to be like, because I think the Pyrenees thing, I didn't really have any expectations of it, and that's why it was so good. Whereas this trip, because I had these really high expectations, I've put so much on, like, this is going to be the best trip of my life, it's going to be amazing, it's going to be my favourite place ever to ride. And then when it kind of wasn't, and it was more difficult, that's a squeak, did you hear that squeaky door? I just found it a little bit more disappointing, I guess. If you've got any questions about this trip, I'm going to do a Q&A when I get home. If you want me to make a guide for this, I will. I just don't know about the start. Maybe I'd obviously split it up more, but I don't know with the drivers. I don't know. Let me know if you want one. I will make you one. And I think that is pretty much it for this video. You're currently on my bike box. Went to Trek, got another bike box from them. They are just the best. That's why I actually stayed in this accommodation, because it's so close to the Trek shop. It was walkable, which is why I booked here. And now I want to head off to the airport. So thank you so much for watching. And also thank you so much for all your lovely comments on Instagram and on my Strava. Like, I've loved reading those every day. Like, it's just been so nice on a night to share the pictures and get all your lovely comments. It's just been so nice. So thank you. Also, let me know where you'd like me to do another Ride Across series. I plan on doing plenty more of these. So put your favourite destinations where you want me to ride, and I will potentially be doing them. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye.